Let's be honest, if you're waiting for someone to give you a shot, you'll probably be waiting for a very long time. Some of the most successful people don't wait for opportunities, they create them. I've learned this firsthand in my acting journey, from facing rejection at someone else's table to realizing I had the power to build my own. I've had the chance to create 5 short films, and while there's still so much for me to learn, nothing compares to the feeling of seeing your work come to life. This conversation is about taking control of your own path and giving you the tools that you need to stop waiting and start creating. Let's go. So why should you create your own projects? Because you can control your narrative. At this point in my career, I call it independent. I don't have an agent or a manager yet. And when you don't have that representation, you don't have access to the higher level projects. People love to ask me, Ben, when are we gonna see you on Bel-Air? How do we get you in the next Black Panther? The answer is you need an agent to even get in those rooms. They have access to those projects. I don't. So when you're independent, the level of work that you have access to is a little lower. Now, I have been blessed to be a part of some great projects. I was in a short film called Follow Me Please, which had a great film festival run. I've done online commercials, and I was even featured in a docu-series on TV. But if we're being honest, a lot of the projects that you find on Backstage or Actors Access just aren't that great. The material isn't always the best. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and create my own material. And the best part, you get to choose the type of roles that you play. If you want to star in a romantic comedy, you can write it and be the romantic interest. If you want to be an action hero, you can make that happen. When you create your own projects, you're shaping your own identity as an artist. And at this point in my career, I want to showcase what type of actor that I want to be. Denzel Washington once talked about this. He said that Sidney Poitier gave him advice early on in his career. Sidney told him that the first few movies that you do, that's how people are going to look at you in this business. So if you want to be seen in a certain light, you need to take control of your own narrative. Another reason why you should create your own projects is so you don't have to wait for it. In my last episode, I talked about how actors hear no way more than we hear yes. Rejection is just a part of the journey. But if you don't want to sit around waiting for the audition or the callback, you can take matters into your own hands. I love the story of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They auditioned for Primal Fear and even spent money on a dialect coach to prepare for it because they knew that whoever got this role would blow up. They got close, but if you've seen the movie, you know they didn't get the part. It went to Edward Norton. That's when they felt a fire and realized something. What are the odds that this great script and a great role like that is going to make its way from the big name actors and come down to the wolves for us to scrap for it? And maybe one of us get it? If we keep waiting on that possibility, we might be waiting forever. So what did they do? They wrote their own movie, and that movie was Good Will Hunting. That rejection pushed them to stop waiting and start creating. And that's the mindset that I've adopted. We're often taught that if we just keep fighting rejection, if we keep fighting through the no's, that we'll eventually break through. But sometimes rejection is a redirection. Sometimes getting a no means it's time for you to make your own opportunity. Now that I've began my filmmaking journey, there are a few things that I've learned. First is that you should write what you know. When you're first starting, you might feel the pressure to create something that you think people will like. What's a trending topic or a big idea that will make people interested? When really it should be what you like and what's authentic to you. My favorite movie of all time is Goodfellas, but I couldn't write that movie because I don't know anything about that world. Only what I've seen on TV. If I tried to do it, it would be shallow and feel phony because it isn't true to me. But if I told a story about something that I go through, it would hit harder. Everything that I've written has had some part of me in it. Like my latest film, People. No, I'm not a painter, but I did put some real conversations that I've had in there because I'm an artist. After it came out, I actually had somebody tell me that one of the scenes were almost word for word a conversation that they've had before. That could only happen because I wrote something that was specific to me. Take Abbott Elementary. Quinta Brunson's mother was a school teacher, and she spent time in her mom's classroom growing up. That was her world. That's what she knew. And instead of trying to make a show about a post-apocalyptic world or about astronauts, she told a story that was authentic to her experience. And now it's one of the biggest shows on TV. The more personal it is, the more universal it becomes. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Say if you work in a coffee shop, I'm sure that you run into the most interesting people from all walks of life. But not only should you write what you know, but you should also write what you can do. We have always been told to dream big, which is great, but you should also be realistic to what you can actually create. I know you have an idea of making a romantic comedy that takes place in Paris, but for now, you might have to make it in Paris, California. You may have this idea of doing a big shootout like Heat for 10 minutes in the middle of downtown LA, but you don't have the resources to get a film permit and actually pull that off. Now, I won't tell you to start small, but have a vision that is realistic for you that you know you can accomplish, because that will help you to avoid the heartbreak. Back to Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They knew that they didn't have a big Hollywood budget for Good Will Hunting. So the cheapest way to do it was to have simple dialogue scenes, just two people sitting down talking. And I've adopted the same idea in my films. A majority of the time, all of the scenes are two people sitting down talking. And in my first film, I didn't even have two people. It was me sitting down talking to me. So if you are just starting out, I encourage you to do the same thing. It can take place at a coffee shop, the park, a couch. Just start off with two people sitting down talking and see what interesting things you can discover. So after you write what you know and you write what you can do, now it's time to build a team because you can't do it alone. Filmmaking isn't a solo sport. You need someone to film it, someone to handle audio, someone to provide lunch. Like, you just can't do everything by yourself. With anything, you always need collaborators to help you who believe in the vision. Now, I'm blessed to have some people around me who help bring my ideas to life. First is my sister Asia. She does the cover art for my films and even the thumbnails for the YouTube videos, which I have zero talent for. But even beyond that, she's a second eye and a trusted voice. A lot of times I bounce ideas off of her and she either confirms what I'm thinking or gives me feedback that pushes me back to the drawing board. And on set, she's always there, filling in the gaps, making sure everything runs smoothly. Another person that I'm extremely grateful for is Asher. He's the cinematographer for all of my films. And beyond just working together, we've actually built a real friendship. I'm not a client to him and he's not a client to me. It's two creatives who want to build something together. He wants to shoot movies and I want to act in them, so it's a perfect match. And even to my young guys, Kato and Jonathan, who come on set with me and help me with filming BTS. Like, if I had to write the film and shoot it and act in it, make graphics for it, shoot the BTS for it, like, something is going to fall through the cracks and it's not going to be as great as it can be. So if you want to focus on what you're good at, you need a team. And I can't talk about my team without mentioning the person who helped me get started, my cousin, Sid McCray. He's an incredible photographer with no real interest in video or filmmaking, but I saw him with a camera and basically dragged him into making films with me. He taught me so much about cameras and making quality work. His early support helped me get my feet in the water and stay consistent, and that's something that I'll always be grateful for. Now, my challenge to you is to find your person. Don't do this alone. You probably already have somebody in mind, somebody that you'd love to start a business with, make a film with, or create content with, but you just haven't reached out yet. I encourage you to take the leap and reach out. You'd be surprised at who has been waiting for the chance to collaborate with you. So now that you've written what you know, written what you can do, you've built some sort of team, the next step is to put a date on it. How many ideas have just stayed ideas? How many things have you written in your notes that never made it off the page? How many songs are still just melodies in your head? More often than not, it's because you never put a date on it. When an idea is only in your head, it's not real yet. It's just a figment of your imagination. But something shifts when you open your calendar, pick a day, and write it down. That's when it becomes real. That's what keeps you accountable. The same way that we don't forget a big appointment or don't miss out on a birthday party is the same way that we shouldn't miss out on our dreams. I remember when I first had the idea of creating my own short films, I was talking with my cousin Raymond, laying out all my grand ideas and where I wanted to take things and what I hoped to build. He listened, and after going back and forth for a while, he told me something that changed my approach. Ben, this is cool and all, but you have to put a date on it. You need to set an actual day on the calendar for when you're going to start and when the movie will release. Because if you don't, it'll just stay an idea. I've come to realize that everybody has ideas. Ideas don't make you special. Everybody can talk big and bad about what they want to do, but what differentiates you from the rest is will you actually do it? So do you want to be an idea guy or a doer? That conversation stuck with me. Since then, I've made it a ritual to release a short film every year on my birthday. That's the date. It forces me to commit. Because if I'm being honest with you, I'm a procrastinator. If I have something due on Friday, chances are I'm gonna start working on it Thursday night. But here's the thing though, I've always been a guy to hit my mark. If you need to have it on Friday, best believe I will get it to you on Friday. I just need a deadline, a mark to hit. And a lot of you are the same. You thrive when there's urgency. But as creatives and entrepreneurs, we don't have the built-in structure like a traditional 9-to-5 job. No one is giving us deadlines. We have to create them ourselves. If you believe in your dream, then it deserves urgency. Dreams need deadlines. So whatever is that thing that you've been waiting to do, whether it's making a movie, starting a business, writing a book, launching a podcast, I challenge you to pick a date. Open your physical calendar and write it down. Because if you don't, you'll keep putting it off and it will be another dead idea. Now, I'm so glad that I put a date on my latest film, People. Out of all the projects that I've done, I'm probably the most proud of this one for several reasons. I truly feel like it's my best work to date when it comes to the writing, the acting, and the overall production value of it. But beyond that, this film had the incredible opportunity to premiere in an actual movie theater. As an actor, one of the biggest dreams is to see yourself on the big screen, to walk a red carpet, step into a theater, and feel the excitement surrounding your movie. I have crazy faith that one day that moment will come for me in a big way, but the truth is, I have no idea when. So instead of waiting for someone else to put me in a theater, I decided to put myself in one. And it was an unforgettable experience to watch People on the big screen. Something that just started as an idea in my head was surreal. My friends and family showed up to celebrate this moment with me. But what made it even more special was that this wasn't just about me. It was about creating a platform, giving my friends and other artists a chance to shine as well. Being a creator isn't easy. The responsibility is all on you. It's always easier to act in someone else's film, serve at someone else's restaurant, or work for someone else's dream. But I can tell you firsthand, there's nothing like watching people enjoy something that you created. Seeing an audience moved by your film, watching people savor your food, hosting an event that you brought to life. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it takes work, but the payoff is unmatched. So whatever your dream is, set the date, build the team, and make it happen. Look, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today to this video. Look, if you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you can stay connected with us and see future episodes that we have coming up. We'll catch you on the next one.